Hello and welcome to Sessions with Judith John. On the screen, do not forget to make note of the phone number, WhatsApp number, and the email ID on which you can contact me for any further discussion. So in today's session, we are going to see the lesson, the third level, from Vista's Class 12 English text. And before we go into the text, we're going to see a few important things needed for you to understand the text thoroughly well. Number one, we're going to see the theme, the title, the backdrop, and the main message of the lesson. Next, we're going to see the main characters in the story and the story highlights. And then a few words which are maybe difficult for you, the word meanings, and then we'll delve into the text for all the important lines, important parts of the story which will help you in your exam. So sit with your text open. Let's go on to the lesson. So here is the third level by Jack Finney. If you look at the theme is so relevant for what is happening in today's world. The modern world, which is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and all the rest of it that troubles us. Look at the situation we are in right now. The whole COVID has brought so many people's life to a standstill. And so what do people do? People adopt ways to escape or overcome it. Either you face it as a challenge head-on or you find means to escape it. It's an intersection of time and space between fantasy and reality. So what do when we don't like the present situation we are in? We like to go off into a dream world of our own. We withdraw and then we go off into a fantasy world which may not be close to the real world at all because the real world is bitter and we don't want to face it. It also brings out the human tendency to constantly move between the past, the present, and the future. We all do that. Very many times we just shift between, we think of our earlier childhood, we think of the happy times, we think of the times that gave us joy, and especially when we are sad and let down. And then we question ourselves, maybe the present is very difficult. So we wonder what the future is going to be like. And this fear brings in a lot of terrific dreams to our minds as well. Okay. So let's see what the title is. The title is given as a third level. What is the third level all about? What is the third level really? The third level doesn't exist in reality. It's a medium of escape for Charlie, the protagonist in the story. Because if you look at the whole story is around this, the Grand Central Terminal, which is located on 42nd Street, Park Avenue in Midtown Manhattan, New York City. The Grand Central is the south terminus of the Metro North Railways, Harlem, Hudson, and New Haven line, serving northern parts of New York. And this station, the Grand Central Station, has only 2 levels. So where did the third level come from? That's in Charlie's imagination. Charlie, our protagonist, is really facing a lot of insecurity in this modern world. So he wants to escape. And his escape is, in his imagination, he creates a third level, which in reality doesn't exist. So what is the value or the message that the story is going to give us? Never let the past ruin your present or destroy. Pursue your favorite hobbies to escape or overcome your fear or worry. Talk to friends and family about your feelings. Get help from them. Never drown yourself in the past. The past is gone. You have to know it, yes. You have to remember maybe the pleasant things from the past, yes. But that should not let you forget that you have to live in the present, that you have to pick up courage and face and live with that challenge to face the present situation. and not withdraw and go into a nutshell and create your own world that doesn't exist. Because you will see in the story that's what happens to Charlie, our protagonist. He just lets himself drown in that, and he doesn't want to come out to face the present situation or the future, which is a big question mark. Now, if you look at the main characters in the story, the characters are here Charlie, who is the protagonist, okay, who allows himself to be, consumed, you can say, by all the fears that he has developed in his mind. Then we have Louisa, Charlie's wife. Although she doesn't have much of a role in the story, here and there you will see the mention of how she's worried about the way Charlie is thinking or behaving, and so she even suggests that he should go to a psychiatrist. And there he finds his friend Sam Weiner, who is a psychiatrist and also Charlie's friend. He sought some kind of relief from him, but what happens is something else. So here, what adds up to all this is Charlie's grandfather. Although Charlie's grandfather is not directly mentioned in the story as one of the characters, you will see he is mentioned there as Charlie's greatest influencer. That when he was small, Charlie has spent a lot of time with his grandfather, and his grandfather keeps telling him that the past, the earlier days, the days before the World War, was very fine. That everything in the world was so peaceful, that people were really happy. There was a very pleasant atmosphere, and all were living very peacefully, happily, joyfully. So Charlie somewhere is taken up by all this, that today's world is very insecure. He's always living in fear, and that the world then was a very fine world, and his mind therefore travels back to that world where he can find peace and joy. Now, if you look at the highlights of the story, the third level has these main points. In the first part, the beginning part, you'll see Charlie's fear of the present world, which is induced by his grandfather unknowingly. Grandfather only talks about his days, his happy-go-lucky days in the countryside, how relaxed they were, and Charlie is somewhere taken up by all this. And then his escape, his temporary refuge from reality to the third level in the Grand Central Station, which is created by him in his mind, where he creates this world of the past, the railway station that existed in 1817, and how he is able to travel back to those days as told by his grandfather. He recreates that picture. Then, of course, the role of his wife and his friend, psychiatrist Sam Weiner. Okay, so wife Louisa worried about his behavior, he being lost, and the way he keeps talking about a third level that doesn't exist. And then, of course, the role of his friend and psychiatrist Sam Weiner. What Sam Weiner tells him and what kind of guidance he gives him. And then the whole lot of stamp collection has a lot of things too. Now, see, whenever we want to temporarily escape, in psychology it's termed as escapism, we all watch maybe a 3 hours film or some kind of serials, episodes that we watch. So we are escaping from the present situation into a different situation altogether. Or even any kind of hobby that we pursue. Like, for example, here in this story, it is stamp collection, which takes you to those olden days. So you start thinking a lot, so much about those, that even in your dreams only those come, and in some way it does affect your mind. Okay, so here Charlie is being affected by all this. The whole lot of the past that is in his mind comes up as the third level, a dreamland. And then the story of the first day cover. Now there comes the twist in the story. Whether really Charlie recovers, or whether he's become worse than what he was, or whether his friend Sam Weiner is also affected. Okay. There is a little bit of this suspense in the story. Let's go ahead to the text to see the rest of it. So before we go into the textbook, let's see a few of the words which may be new to you. These pictures will help you understand it better. The very first word you will come across, tan gabardine suit. So what is a tan gabardine suit? It is this color. It's thick woven material which is made and in this shade. That's the tan gabardine suit which is mentioned in the story. Next is the long black sleeve protectors. Now this is what is an example of long black sleeve protectors, okay, which are worn especially when you're underground, when you're in some kind of difficult work or very severe winters traveling. Okay, then we have open flame gas lights. Now this, in the story, Charlie goes back to 1817. In those days, it was lights like this one which is shown in the picture that was being used. See, like the one shown here on the walls and streets, unlike what we enjoy today, solar lights. Okay, and then the next word, the brass spittoons. Okay, so again, this is in olden days where people use this to spit. They wouldn't spit here and there, anywhere, the way these days people do on the roadsides and all in India. But here you can see the brass spittoons were used. They would spit only inside that and then of course wash and clean it now and then. The next word here is the derby hat that he is using. So here, all these are those olden days clothes worn in 1817, what people wore. So there's a mention of this in the story, all that Charlie sees. So the derby hat is this, as shown in the picture here, handlebar mustache. Okay, this is also a those days thing, and nowadays you see a few people, of course, wearing them on, but not many, unlike those days. Then the leg of mutton sleeves, as shown in the picture here. The sleeves of, if you see the sleeves of this dress shown here, is like, you know, the leg of mutton. So that's how the name comes, leg of mutton sleeves. Okay. So keeping these words in mind, now we will go ahead into the textbook. Keep your textbooks open and ready. So now looking at your textbook page, the third level by Jack Finney. So we'll go ahead and see what the story is about. Have you ever heard any curious experience which others find hard to believe? Yes. So there's a question that starts off right at the beginning. We had seen the story in short, so we won't be going into the details, but only look at the highlights, which you have to remember for the exam, all the important lines. So when we are looking into the lines, it is here the new Grand Central. Okay. The New York Grand Central, the station, and whatever happens in the station. Now you can see the lines highlighted here, waking dream wish fulfillment. Now this is a very important phrase over here. What is this waking dream? It's a medium of escape. Waking dream wish fulfillment. You may be asked a question on this, so be careful and mark this out in your text as well. Now he said, I was unhappy. That made my wife kind of mad, but he explained that he meant the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and all the rest of it, and that I just want to escape. And everybody I know wants to escape. So this is the main thing that drove Charlie, our protagonist, to look for this escape place. Okay. Now everything points to it. It says, what everything? My stamp collection. So it's a hobby of stamp collection itself. Okay, it's a temporary refuge from reality. See, I've highlighted here, you can see in green and blue. Please make a note of it. And I've also highlighted grandfather. Why grandfather is a great influence on him? Because he talks, he says that things were pretty nice and peaceful in his day. Okay, okay. And so this is stuck in his head somewhere. All right. And then the mention of first day covers. Do you know what first day covers are? You know, anyone who is interested in philately, just look up otherwise in Google, philately, stamp collection. Okay. So those who collect stamps, they will know the importance of the first day covers. Of course, today the whole lot of the postal department has not got the importance that it used to enjoy once upon a time because of all other media of internet that has come into being. Otherwise, the postal department was very important, and stamp collection was a very loved hobby by many people. So your first day cover is on the day, first day when the stamp is released, people will buy that stamp, put it on the envelope and post it to themselves, and this is the first day cover, which has that new stamp on it with the stamp of the post office on that date, delivered on that day. So you have this as a first day cover. It's a great prized possession of any one who collects stamps. All right. So the first day covers here, and he mentions that President Roosevelt also collected stamps. So it is something great hobby that I am doing. He's feeling proud about that, happy about that. So he is 31 years old. Our protagonist Charlie is 31 years old. Mind you, please note this. You may get a question on that. And he is dressed in a tan gabardine suit. I just showed you the picture of it. All right. And he just was returning from work. He is returning home, okay, to get home to his wife Louisa. Louisa is the name of his wife. Here you can see I've highlighted that as well, okay. And but he's not able to reach home. He's stuck there in the Grand Central. What happens? He enters the railway station to reach home, but when he comes to the station, his mind wanders. And then he reaches his dreamland, the third level. And with all its tunnels and everything that he has created in his mind, with all the complications that are going on in his mind, the insecurities and the fear, he's muddled up. And then he talks about how the way of escape, that Grand Central is a way of escape. Okay. And he mentions here the psychiatrist friend also, with whom he shares this feeling. Okay. So now finally the whole corridor of steps leads him, and now he is whatever is happening in his mind. It's not reality. He finds them empty, the sound of my own footsteps only, and I didn't pass a soul. So these are the hints, these three words here. It's empty, sound of my own footsteps, and nobody passes by. This shows that it's all in his mind, because in reality the railway station, there'll be a lot of people, there'll be movement, there'll be trains coming. So here now he has already gone into his mind. Now whatever is happening is in his mind, okay. And whatever is explained here in this paragraph here, all right, this whole lot of these lines, you will find it's about whatever existed once upon a time long back in 1817, what the way the station was then. And okay, it was wood and old looking, so it's not the way modern stations are. And there he says, see, whatever he mentions in the wore a green eye shade and long black sleeve protectors, all these are olden days things and not now what he's seeing. And lights were dim and flickering. Why? Because they were open flame gas lights, the picture of which I showed you just now, and with brass spittoons and all that, and the glint of light. So you can see here, okay, what is glint of light? It is a short flash of light. So it's not like the lights that we are using now these days. All this only adds to show how this is not reality and it's his own fantasy world. You can see people with the derby hat and a black four-button suit with tiny lapels, the way it was worn in those days, with a handlebar mustache. So all this, and in 1890 something. So you can see here, I've highlighted that here in the line, you can see as shown in the textbook. Why this is important, the year is important, the place is important, the description of what the people wearing is important, because this is not modern New York where he is actually living. And people, the lady also walked off wearing leg of mutton sleeves and skirts to the top of her high button shoes. So all these are olden days clothes, not the way it's worn today, to show that he has actually traveled back in time and he is dreaming of a world which was existing in 1817. And even you see a very small Courier and Ives locomotive with a funnel-shaped stack. So even that description is of the olden days train, not as of today. Okay. So then he see how he's been wandering. He's really talking about even the newspaper, the stack of papers that were there, the World. And the World hasn't been published. The name of the newspaper, the World. The World did not exist, at the time. Now in modern world, not existing. Once upon a time, yes, there was this newspaper over there, and then even the story of President Cleveland and all that. So it is 1894. He even mentioned the date. Oh, it was printed 11 June 1894. So all this points to Charlie living in his own dreams. Okay. And then he also goes on. His mind really works wonders here. We're at the third level at the Grand Central in 1894, and he's getting 2 tickets to the place called Galesburg, Illinois. Now this is important. Mark this, the name of the place where he wants to travel, where his grandfather was living. Once upon a time, it's a countryside where people were living very peacefully, doing some business of only farms and farmland and relaxing in the evenings. Now he's dreaming of such a wonderful life for himself. Okay, 2 tickets for himself and his wife. So all these are 1 mark questions. You can note down short answers. 4 short answers, very important. Okay. And then here you can see how the whole description of the big old frame houses, huge lawns, tremendous trees, and they're sitting in their lawns, smoking cigars, talking quietly, okay, enjoying themselves. Peaceful world. Look, I've highlighted over here, they are living in a peaceful world, relaxed world. And I wanted 2 tickets for that. This is what Charlie wants. He wants peace. He wants a peaceful life. He's looking for that, but he's looking for it in the wrong place. We are living in a world where we are running a rat race. If you remember the lesson, the rat trap, we're running a rat race. And here we are talking about a world that is very different, much before, very relaxed, very happy, very peaceful. And here he's continuing with how the clock looks and how, old style bills. I've highlighted it here. You can see that is the old time money, not the new dollar. Okay, that is being used now in America. All right. So it's a whole lot of mention of that. And then you will see how he talks about even eggs being available for very cheap rate over here, you know, uh, 200 in wholesale buy, and he mentioned $300, but less than 200 in old style bills. He wants to exchange and get money from the olden times thing. Okay, you have to buy a premium also, and yet he does it. He goes, he gets his new money changed, and he buys old time money also, thinking that he will go to that place of 1894. Okay, but I've never again found the Grand Central Station. Oh, the third level. Because it was in his mind. How will he find what is not reality? So he again takes help. He tells his wife about it. Wife is even more worried. Okay, both are looking for it. Friend also disappeared. His friend Sam Wainar, you can see his name mentioned over here in the text. Okay, and when a new stamp is issued, each time the stamp collectors buy and post. Now this is about the first day cover. And then in his collection he finds, of course, a blank paper on the envelope. That's what they do. They don't write anything. They just put, that's what a first day cover is. They just put a blank paper. But what happens to Charlie is that when he opens it, you can see here it wasn't blank, and he sees a letter. See, the letter is also shown here in the text. You can see it wasn't blank, it's a letter. And the date is also there, July 18th, 1894, and you can see the letter printed. And this is the great twist in this story, which has mystery. Any kind of science fiction has a mystery in it. If you can remember class 11 book, The Adventure, also has this, so any science fiction has a little bit of mystery in it which is unsolved. which is left to the reader's wild imagination to think. So here we have this letter which is addressed to Charlie, and the note is signed Sam. How could it be Sam Weiner? He was on it. So why Sam was my psychiatrist? So you arrive at your own conclusion, where I would say, if you think of that Charlie has just got worse than what he was, and he has let himself drown in his own problems, and he has started thinking, he is able to read a letter from a blank paper, which in actually it's a blank paper. You can imagine it the way you want, the way the story takes you. So do you think the third level was a medium of escape for Charlie? Yes. Why? Because he feels the present day world is full of fear and worries and all that. What do you infer from Sam's letter to Charlie? Either that Sam has become worse than what he was, and he can see a letter written on a blank paper as well. Okay. Or that Sam is also affected, and he has written a letter to Charlie to make him believe that, this is there, or it's part of the therapy. The modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and stress. What are the ways in which we attempt to overcome them? Usually people listen to music, or sing, or play music, or dance, or watch a movie, or read a book. All this takes you off temporarily from your worry. These are the things that you can do, and to overcome them, just temporarily you can find an escape, but otherwise you will have to head on, face it, take it as a challenge, and find little ways like meditation, yoga, things that can be done to keep yourself sane and going. Do you see an intersection of time and space in this story? Yes. He moves from the present to the past. Okay, so that is the intersection of time and space, because he's moving from home to his office through the Grand Central Station, and then even in the Grand Central Station he moves off to the past. All right, so there is a lot of time and space involved. Apparent illogicality sometimes turns out to be a futuristic projection. Yes, many times, yes. I think if many of the inventions have been happening only because of these kind of wild imagination as well. Philately helps keep the past alive. Discuss other ways in which this is done. What do you think of the human tendency to constantly move between the past, present, and the future? See, it can be used positively, that when we think of the past and we use it to improve our present, apply it in a better way in our present, or even to build a better future. But we should not be letting ourselves drown in it. Okay, that's one thing. Like philately, you have many other things that people collect, maybe seashells, maybe books, a whole lot of old books and authors, things like that. There are so many things. Coin collection again is a very big hobby by itself. So there are things that people do to keep the past alive. Okay. Yeah, so you can read maybe once more Adventure from Class 11, Hornbill text, where you will see the same interweaving of fantasy with reality. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed the lesson, and please do keep reading the lesson again to learn more, and mark out, as I have marked out over here, the important lines and words for the exam. Keep watching Sessions with Judith John for more tips and inputs to excel and stand out. You can contact me for any kind of further discussion on this WhatsApp contact number 8297970 You can text your doubts and queries even in the comment box, or mail me at sessionswithjudithjohn@gmail.com for online tutorial, coaching, doubt clearing, or anything as per your requirement for anything in English. Thank you and God bless you.